you a overview of Uniworld boutique river cruises and what you can expect from us in general. And then, of course, we will really dive into this beautiful Egyptian itinerary on the Nile. So I'm going to skip right past our Tina Turner here. So I really just kind of wanted to highlight this. I love sharing this particular slide because as we travel, we are really investing in our memories and creating these special moments with friends and family, those that we love. And really, it's so difficult to put a value on what that memory investment is. And of course, um, there is something different for everyone. There's a number of different river cruise lines, of course, ocean cruising and so forth. So you really do have to think about what you're looking for, what you want to get out of it, and the memories that you want to make with those that you're traveling with. So first and foremost, just kind of touching on why Uniworld and what makes Uniworld unique. We are truly focused on delivering the most all-inclusive amenities. And what that means is premium wines and spirit, unlimited pours. I will put a little caveat on this, especially because we're talking about the Egypt itinerary. It is the exception to the rule on this, only because obviously there is a very different culture in Egypt. So that there's different circumstances there. So with the Egypt itinerary, and I'll talk about that a little bit more, it is beer and wine and soft drinks and so forth that are served with the meal services that you can expect. But all of our other itineraries, you'll find that it is unlimited pours of premium wines and spirits. We include your airport to ship transfers, or if you're doing the extensions, of course, the transfers to your hotel as part of that extension. You will have the most amazing culinary experience on board with Uniworld. So our staff is really focused on delivering truly farm fresh and regionally fresh dishes and inspired dishes. So you'll have a 5-star dining service for dinner. And then during the day, of course, depending on the port you're in, both breakfast and lunch will be a beautiful buffet array, not to be disappointed. Absolutely an amazing array of hot entree dishes. For lunch, they'll even have carving stations and a beautiful produce bar, always an array of fresh fruits and desserts, local cured meats and cheeses and so forth. So, but 5-star dining for your dinner service with plated entrees and a chef's curated menu each evening that does vary, in addition to a number of other items that you can select from on a daily basis. And they're really fantastic about catering to any special dietary restrictions, particularly allergies. So please work with our culinary staff if you do have any restrictions. They're happy to accommodate you. And our staff is really there to focus on delivering the most outstanding service. So we have a very tenured staff throughout Uniworld. Some of our staff members have been with us for 10 and 15 years and more. And so they get to know not only our repeat guests, but of course, they are experts on the destination as much as anyone, but really focused on you and delivering the amazing service you would expect. And then all of the curated experiences and excursions are included as well. So the moment you step on board, really everything is taken care of for you. Even the onboard gratuities for our staff are covered as well. So here's a beautiful video overview. video is highlighting a number of our, destinations, a number of our ships. And you'll notice from that video that no two ships are actually alike. So we have beautiful boutique floating hotels. Every ship is really designed around the destination that they travel. And so this is just a quick at a glance of the European destinations that we cover. Of course, over 17 different countries with itineraries anywhere from 7 nights up to 24 nights. And on average, you probably noticed in the video, we average about 120 guests per ship. And one of the best staff to guest ratios on the rivers as well. So our largest ship is 159 passengers, and the smallest ship is only 38 passengers. That's the one that travels the Peruvian Amazon that was at the very end of the video there. And I will certainly talk specifically about the ships for Egypt in just a moment. So you can see the countries, the rivers that they cover. So anywhere you're really looking to explore throughout Europe, this is an amazing way to travel and explore the destination. And then beyond that, of course, we cover these extraordinary destinations. We'll be talking about Egypt, of course, the Ganges River through India, the Mekong River through Vietnam and Cambodia, and the beautiful Peruvian Amazon. And of course, these are truly bucket list experiences and destinations. And these ships are even smaller. So as I mentioned, the Peruvian Amazon on the Orient Amazon is only 38 guests. And with any of the itineraries, there are certainly optional land extensions as well. This is just a way for you to further explore the destination and experience it. It's also an amazing opportunity, I believe, to get into the destination prior to your cruise, because of course, when you're traveling as far as to Cairo, it's nice to get in there 2 or 3 days early and get some adjustment time, have a chance to explore on your own, but really just more than anything, be sure you're there. We all know flights sometimes anymore can be a challenge, but even more so, you want to be fresh and ready and adjusted on that time zone as much as possible so you can really enjoy your river cruise experience. So these are all the amazing land extensions options that are available, in addition to some beautiful luxury rail extensions with select itineraries also. So let's talk about Egypt. This is why we're all here. And this is definitely one of the hottest itineraries that we are seeing right now. There is some limited availability for 2024. So if this is something that you're considering for next year, please get with your Birch travel advisor soon. They will review the availability for you and what accommodations are available. We will be releasing our 2025 departures anytime now. So if you're planning ahead for 2025, no fear, that will be available very soon. So obviously this is a truly bucket list experience. You're going to have 12 adventure filled days, 7 nights of cruising, 4 nights at a hotel, which is going to be the land portion of this itinerary, 26 meals included, 8 different excursions, as well as 12 UNESCO World Heritage sites. We are not going to miss those most important key elements of visiting Egypt. So a lot of amazing, some of the world's largest ancient religious complexes you'll find in Egypt, and that is what we're there to explore. So let's see, my slide doesn't want to advance right now, sorry. There we go. So first and foremost, there are 2 different ships that do travel the Nile River that you have to choose from. One of them is our River Tosca. She is what we call our classic ship. The unique thing about this particular ship is she is all suite accommodations. So quite different from the other that I'll show you in just a moment. Both of the ships are, this one's 82 guests. The super ship Sphinx you'll see is 84 guests, so about the same number of guests. The ship size is about the same. Of course, you're going to get the same experiences, the same culinary experience, the same amazing personalized service on both of the ships. So it's more about the ship's design and decor, um, and maybe it's some of the accommodations that are slightly different. This one being very focused on being an all-suite ship, a little more of an understated elegance to it, a little more subtle decor, if you will, to it. The other option being the newer super ship Sphinx. So she's going to have a little bit more of the modern touches. Um, it does still have that very much Egyptian flair, but it's a little bit more, I guess, in your face. Beautiful screens and decor throughout that's going to really give you the feel of being in Egypt. Both of the ships do have a swimming pool, keeping in mind these are river cruises. They're not giant swimming pools. But the difference with this one in particular is that it does have a variety of accommodations. So not just the suites, but there are a couple of deluxe balcony as well as some French balcony accommodations. So it does offer a little more flexibility in terms of the accommodations that you'll find here. So with the Splendors of Egypt and the Nile, it is a round trip departure and a return to Cairo. So you'll see it's 12 days. You'll see here where you're embarking on the ship in Cairo, spending the day there overnight, and then disembarking in Luxor, flying back to Cairo. So, you know, it makes it a little very easy to, as far as the flight arrangements are concerned, to fly in and out of Cairo solely. One thing that you want to consider, as I mentioned, is a pre-extension. We, of course, do offer this as an option. All of the pricing is very transparent on our website. Again, your travel advisor would be more than happy to go over this in detail with you. So if you're interested, we do have this beautiful Jordan pre-extension. It does include 3 nights at the St. Regis Amman Hotel, as well as 1 night at the Palmyra Mazan camp. And then we also do a night at the Manara, which is one of the luxury collection hotels. And then you'll see breakfast is included daily, 2 lunches and 1 dinner, and all of the service charges and porterage are included. There are also 4 days of excursions that are included with the pre-extension, as well as, of course, all of the transfers and the flight between Amman to Cairo, where you'll then board your ship. So definitely something to consider. So if you happen to be flying directly into the airport, this is going to be your day 1. As I mentioned, all of the airport to ship transfers are included. Of course, if you have the pre-extension, as I just addressed, that will be a transfer to the ship. The nice thing is you have a Uniworld representative that is there to greet you, whether you are at the pre-extension hotel or coming into the airport. You will have a representative that's there to greet you and to escort you to your transfer and get you safely to the ship. This is the most amazing way to travel, because at no point do you have to really think about, where am I supposed to be? What am I doing? We have a host, an expert guide that's with you every step of the way. So please just be aware of that. Guests that are staying on the super ship Sphinx will be staying in the 4 Seasons in Cairo at the Nile Plaza. The guests who book at the River Tusca are staying at the Ritz-Carlton. So that is for your day 1. There is also a masterpiece collection. So we do have these optional above and beyond very elevated experiences. So in addition to the included ones, there are some optional masterpiece collection excursions if you are interested. Again, just know that everything is taken care of. So if you choose not to do them, you're going to have plenty to do no matter what. So the optional masterpiece collection is Alexandria. It is an extra, does require an extra night stay. And it is a whole 12-hour sightseeing expedition into the Montosa Palace Gardens. the National Museum, Pompeii's Pillar, and Abu Dhabi's mosque. So you'll also have a chance to see the catacombs as well. I mean, just an amazing, amazing experience if that's something that you're interested in. But again, this is totally optional. So day 2, this is really when you get to start dive in and exploring. So obviously in the ancient quarter of Cairo, just very colorful experience. Obviously, you know, the unique sounds in Egypt that you can hear from the mosques, that you can hear from you know, just the local prayer. It's just a truly remarkable experience. We have a local expert here that's going to be showing you the 12th century citadel, as well as the beautiful alabaster mosque. So this is an extraordinary experience. I personally have not had an opportunity to do this particular itinerary. However, I've had extensive conversations with my colleagues who have been on it, and just the passion for everything that they have a chance to encounter at this alabaster mosque was just truly remarkable. Absolutely unbelievable artifacts that you'll have a chance to encounter here as well. And you'll have the once buried boy king Tutankhamun, sorry, is found here as well. So again, just an amazing, amazing experience here in the Egyptian Museum and Alabaster Mosque. There is over 700 years of just really Egyptian culture and history to explore around the city as well. So day 3, this is going to include your flight from Cairo to Luxor, where you're going to embark on the ship. One thing to note with this is that the flights to Luxor can depart rather early in the morning. So do keep that in mind. And throughout this itinerary, we may have some very early morning experiences as well. So we really want to get in there and explore and experience these amazing UNESCO World Heritage sites prior to the crowds, prior to the heat of the day, giving you the best experience. So do keep that in mind that there could be some very early starts. On this particular day, you're going to have a chance to visit the Temple of Karnak. Just absolutely beautiful site with gigantic columns, beautiful avenues. You'll see the stone Sphinx here as well. And then in the evening, we have our welcome reception and dinner. I want to just touch a little bit for a moment too on the dress on board, because I think a lot of people have the assumption that with our beautiful boutique ships and being a more luxury all-inclusive river cruise line, that you have to dress up every single night, and that certainly is not the case. First of all, when you're out exploring, you need to be in comfortable attire. You need to be in comfortable shoes. So do keep that in mind. Depending on the time of the year, obviously it can be a little warmer than others. So that's really important. You're also on your vacation, so you need to be able to enjoy it. In the evening for the dinner service, while it is a 5-star dinner service, this is not a tuxedo and gown required type of meal. On my recent itinerary, which was on the Danube, some people may choose to dress up a little bit more. And when I say that, a woman might wear a dress, but nothing fancy. Some gentlemen might choose to wear a sport coat, but absolutely that is not a requirement. You, again, can be comfortable if that just means you want to have a nice top, nice blouse, and you know, capri pants or comfortable pants, by all means. The only thing we do ask is no shorts during the dinner service. So that would be the only thing that we ask. And again, you're there to really enjoy this experience. This is your vacation. This is your memories that you're building. So the next day we are going to Diadra. And this is really when we began our cruise down the Nile River. You're going to explore the twin shrines. This is the Temple of Karnak, as well as the Temple of Luxor. Truly remarkable experiences here. So in addition, the Temple of Hathor, this is going to be one of the options or featured excursions for you, and you'll actually be able to do both the Temple of Hathor and the Temple of Luxor. So it is not a choice in this particular day. So do keep that in mind. So with the Temple of Hathor, that's in Dendora. This is dedicated to the goddess of love and beauty. And the temple dates back to the Egypt's prolific era, where the heirs of Alexander the Great ruled over Egypt. So they've adopted this Egyptian culture and religion as their own. It was built between 125 BC and AD 65. So, I mean, just extraordinary opportunity here. It's one of the most well-preserved temples in all of Egypt and features the rare bas relief of Cleopatra. And then with the son, Julius, that she bore Julius Caesar. So there is some free time here. We'll return to Luxor with some free time before then later visiting the Temple of Luxor. Of course, that is always on everyone's bucket list as well. So you're going to enter the temple through the great pylons. It's the ceremonial gateway where there's two beautiful and enormous statues of Ramesses II that still stand there, along with the pink granite obelisk. Still stands in its place in Paris, France. So just truly extraordinary entry, a very grand entrance, obviously. You're going to continue to walk through into the beautiful courtyard area where the Abu Hagag Mosque once stood. And it's now, of course, the ruins of the temple. You can see some of the remnants of the mosque on the east side of the courtyard. There's, above the high columns, there's beautiful arched doorways opening to the air as well. And then, of course, the Sun King then really kind of comes into play here as well. So the temple's chief architect, which was, known as the Sun King, also known as the Sun King and Ramesses. This was all constructed over 100 years process, beginning in 1400 BC. And it was dedicated to the father of all life, the god Amun. So again, just amazing experience here. And then once a year, they do have this beautiful feast and festival that's held around the statue of Amun as well. So you'll see just kind of some of this opportunity here as well. And then moving on to our 5th day, continuing to cruise down the Nile. This is the word colossal. It takes a whole new meaning they're talking about here. This is where, again, you have these, it's amazing because so much of this, you'll see these twin statues or these twin columns throughout each of this journey. And so the statues are known as the Colossi and Menemen. And this is really the entrance to the Valley of the Kings, which was the royal burial place for nearly 500 years. And the mummified remains are on display. So you'll have a chance to really get up close view of these gigantic statues of Pharaoh. And then, of course, the statues that depict Imhotep as well on his throne. And then the carvings that are next to him of his mother and also his wife. And then you'll also see the panels that depict the god of the Nile as well. Continuing on through the temple, which is now, let's see, actually, the temple itself took almost 3,400 years to be completed. And one of Egypt's rare female pharaohs is considered by historians to have one of the most successful rulers in ancient Egypt. You'll also have the opportunity to see the representation there as well. Continuing on then to day 6 down the Nile. So after visiting the temple, this is dedicated to the crocodile god. Again, just this amazing ancient history that we have here as well. So there are displays of some 300 mummified crocs that are found in and throughout this area. And you're going to get on a small boat and also have a bird watching experience as well. So the Kom Ombo temple is one of the most ancient Egyptian temples. It's dedicated to 2 gods, the crocodile god, as well as the falcon god. And construction began under the reign of, oh goodness, I can't even pronounce this, sorry, Ptolemy in 180 to 145 BC, and then continued on until later rulers were able to complete it. So again, there's several of the 300 crocodile mummies that have been discovered in the vicinity and are on display inside the temple as well. And then the bird watching boat ride. This is a scenic cruise down Aswan. It's a small boat on the banks of the Nile. And you'll have a chance to really watch for some of the colorful native birds. There's various species of herons, kingfishers, vulture sunbirds, and other wildlife that thrive in that marsh and riverbanks area. Day 7 in Aswan, just an amazing day. Again, more just marvels of engineering here. The Aswan High Dam, as well as the unfinished obelisk, and then the Philae Temple complex as well. So you'll have a chance to explore all of them. Aswan High Dam was completed in the 1970s and truly a marvel of engineering. It's 11,800 feet long and 3,215 feet wide at its base and 304 feet high. The reservoir capacity is nearly 5 times that of the Hoover Dam. So truly just an extraordinary engineering feat here. This was actually used historically. Oh my goodness, I was just referring to this. This was actually used to help save it from some of the rising waters. So very similar to obviously our, Hoover Dam. This is, become a UNESCO site, and it took more than 10 years to actually complete. And there's 3 principal monuments on the island that all date back to prolific and Roman eras as well. And then in addition, you'll have a boat ride and a traditional Nile felucca, an afternoon tea at the Old Cataract Hotel Aswan. So again, you don't have to choose between these, nor do you have to make decisions in advance if you want to participate in one of them, or if maybe you decide not to and you want to explore on your own. That is entirely up to you. You can make those decisions once on board the ship. You don't need to register in advance for any of these excursions or experiences. And then moving on to day 8, this is going to be really a day at your leisure. There is an optional masterpiece collection experience if you want to explore the beautiful Abu Simbel temples. So this one is a 6-hour optional exploration day. Or you can enjoy, again, exploring on your own in Aswan. Day 9, this is the Temple of Esna, and you'll find, under the debris, there's many centuries, one of the last great Egyptian temples ever built. And one of the key things just really to understand too about all of these excursions and experiences, you have an expert Egyptologist guide that is with you every step of the way. So they will be on board the ship, giving talks, giving you some history and background, in addition to joining you on these excursions, they're true Egyptologists, English speaking guides that will be with you throughout this entire journey. So this is going to be one of the last Roman temples of Esna. It lies on the west bank of the Nile. It's about 34 miles south of Luxor. And it dates back again to the Prolific and the Roman eras here. And this is going to be really your last day to really enjoy the beautiful Nile scenery from the ship. There is, again, a masterpiece collection option. If you're interested, there's a remarkable Luxor sound and light show. It's a 2.5-hour experience, absolutely extraordinary, and honestly, one of the most affordable of all of the masterpiece collection options that are offered. So do, take into consideration some of these masterpiece collections. I would highly recommend going to the website. You can look at the detailed day-by-day itineraries and see all of these masterpiece collection experiences in detail, as well as the pricing. And if you're interested in securing any of them, certainly work with your travel advisor. Day 10, and this is when we're going to be disembarking the ship and transferring back to Cairo from Luxor. And we will be transferring you back to your hotel. Again, just a reminder, the flights can be quite early in the morning at times, so do keep that in mind. You'll have a chance to get checked into your hotel and relax and have plenty of time before dinner that evening. If you're interested, again, there is a masterpiece collection option to explore the National Museum in Cairo. So day 11, this is really where you finally get to dig into some of those bucket list moments in the Cairo portion of the itinerary. So this is where you're going to venture over to the ancient Memphis, another UNESCO World Heritage Site, and explore, of course, the Pyramids of Giza with the small pyramid entry, as well as explore the Great Sphinx and a Saqqara visit. So this is really like where it all kind of comes to fruition. You're going to have your final experiences here in Cairo. At the Giza, the necropolis is truly the face of Egypt, as we see here, the Great Sphinx. As we all know, this is really what we think of when we see this picture. We think of Egypt, of course. The body of the crouching lion and the head of the man is the largest monolith statue in the world. And experts believe that the Sphinx, known to early Arabs as Abu al-Hol, is the father of terror. It was built in the 26th century BC, and perhaps as a portrait of Pharaoh himself. So I would, really encourage you to definitely dive a little deeper into this daily itinerary on the website. We do have this in detail day by day that you can explore. And I will show you how to find that here in just a moment. Day 12, this is your departure of Cairo. So unless you have any of our post extensions, this is where our staff is going to ensure that you have your transfers directly to Cairo Airport, or if you are extending, we have some beautiful extension options as well. Jerusalem, obviously, is another bucket list itinerary experience. We have 4 nights at the Orient Jerusalem Hotel, breakfast daily, all of your service charges and taxes and porterage, and 3 days of excursion. Again, of course, all of the transfers are included. Your flight between Cairo to Tel Aviv is included with this. And of course, you have your expert guide that will conduct those 3 days of excursions for you. In addition, just this year, we have extended a new post-cruise extension in the Red Sea. So just a truly remarkable experience to really explore, obviously a little more of a beach, if you will, destination. We have 3 nights at the Charm, which is at the Four Seasons Resort. And then 1 night at the Four Seasons Hotel Cairo in Nile Plaza. Breakfast is every morning here. And again, additional excursions and experiences that are included with this host extension, as well as all of your transfers and flights between Cairo and Sharm as well. Of course, you have your expert guide that will be supporting you along the way as well. One thing I do want to note is that when you do book through Burst Travel, they have the opportunity to provide you with $150 shipboard credit per person. This can be used towards any of these masterpiece collection experiences that I've mentioned. If you wanted to have a spa service on board, that certainly can be used towards that. There's a boutique on board the ships as well. So do keep that in mind when you're booking through them. They have this additional benefit available for you. Also, for anyone who is booking for 2024, we have the opportunity to save 10% if you book and pay in full by October 31st of this year. So if this is something that you are considering for next year, you can save an additional 10% if you do that. So do keep that in mind. And if any of you have ever sailed with Uniworld in the past, you are automatically enrolled in our River Heritage Club program as a loyal customer. And there is additional loyalty savings that is applicable for you as well. And this is all combinable. And then, of course, anytime we have any public offers or promotions, our loyalty savings is always in addition to those public offers. We are part of the award-winning Travel Corporation family of brands. There's more than 40 different brands. You may be familiar with the Red Carnation hotels throughout the world, many of them in Europe, Insight Vacations, Luxury Gold, or Trafalgar, and so many more. So Uniworld is a part of this award-winning family of brands, and it is truly family-owned with more than 100 years of experience in hospitality and travel. So we certainly would welcome the opportunity to host you on board any one of our Uniworld ships, whether it's in Egypt or throughout Europe or even beyond. And I do want to take a moment to just really quickly navigate over to the website just to kind of showcase for you. So when you are on our Uniworld website, you can just navigate directly to itineraries or through destinations to then choose our Splendors of Egypt and the Nile itinerary. It will default currently to the 2023 tab. So of course you can click on 2024 if you're looking ahead. And as I mentioned, the 2025 will be available in the coming days very shortly. From here, if you scroll down, you can see this very detailed optional extensions. You can see the pricing from here as well. And again, booking through your Burst Travel Advisor, they will assist you with adding any of these extensions to your pre or post cruise, of course. And then going back, let me just navigate back here really quickly. You can actually see the detailed day-by-day excursions and experiences that are all included, which I've highlighted to you, and read a little bit more in detail about them from here as well. You can also see the days where there are these masterpiece collections. They are going to be very significantly in price. Of course, this one being the more expensive, it's a 6-hour, quite in-depth day there. But as I mentioned, even the Luxor sauna shows only $60 US. So any one of these, if you're interested in them, certainly those are options to add. But by all means, we have so much that's included already within this itinerary itself for you to stay busy. Just want to highlight too, again, with the Egypt, all of the meals on board that are included, the welcome reception and dinner. There's a farewell dinner, and this does include house wine, beer, soft drinks, tea, and coffee during lunch and dinner with Egypt in particular. So do keep that in mind. It does differ between all of our other itineraries in that regard. Any questions that I can try to answer for you all?
Good job, Tony. Man, I'll tell you, that is some spectacular itinerary. What a great way to really encompass all of Egypt and all the highlights. So, just listening to this, I'm thinking, why would you want to go to that part of the world any other way? Because this is going to give you access to everything and make it so easy. So thank you for an in-depth
Yes. I mean, it really is the most amazing way to explore within a destination, truly. So
absolutely. Well, if anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. I'm just looking here in the chat box. I don't see anything.
And just so you all know, that's my background here is actually the lounge on the super ship Sphinx. So kind of get a little idea there too of the Sphinx.
So just a quick review on how to reach out to your Birch travel advisor. I kind of do this on every presentation, but best way to reach out to research more of this, get some pricing, get some availability, is if you work with an advisor, is to email them directly and set up an appointment. We've kind of gone to an option where we like to set up appointments so we can provide the best service, focus on your needs and interests exclusively. So you can reach out directly to your travel advisor to set up a time for an appointment, or call the local office. Or you can go on our website and go under locations, and there's a box there where you can contact the location directly, and then someone will get back to you, and you can set up a time, an appointment, schedule an appointment with one of the advisors to kind of review all of this. So as Tony said, 2024 is filling up. When you realize these ships are pretty small, that does limit the inventory. So if you're thinking 2024, now is the time to reach out to us. Otherwise, 2025 is opening up soon, and don't waste time on that, because we'll see how fast those will fill up. So just reach out to the local Birch advisor through the website directly, or you can call the offices directly too. So they'll be happy to set up an appointment and go through all of these steps and research anything. Okay, I see. Yeah, no, I can't. Oh, here we go. Can't you look at the information on the website without registering? Oh, did you see that, Tony?
Yeah, I'm not sure where the registration is coming in. If you just simply go to uniworld.com. So I'm not sure if you went to some other third-party site somehow, but just uniworld.com will take you directly to our website. And from there, there's no registration required. From there, you can either go through the destinations tab at the top, and via obviously the destinations, and choose your Egypt, or you can go directly through the itinerary tab and choose Egypt from there. So
I wonder if the registration, maybe that was across the dashboard, might have been for a travel agent. I don't know. Sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can certainly share my screen again real quickly, just so everyone kind of sees here. One sec. I will essentially navigate myself back. So if you're just uniworld.com, whoopsie, helps if I don't put a little extra I in there, but uniworld.com. From here, you can, like I said, either go through the destinations or through the itineraries section. And it's the splendors of Egypt and the Nile. And that will take you directly to this landing page. And like I said, it will default currently to the 2023. You can click on this little 2024 there, just so you're on. If there's any variations, I don't know that there honestly is between the two itineraries, but just to make sure. And the itineraries are the same, whether it's the Sphinx or the Tosca. But you can also navigate between the two, but they are exactly the same itinerary. And then from here is where you can expand the day by day and really dive into detail on each of those excursions that are included each day, as well as see the masterpiece collection options that are available. I do want to point out on this, you'll notice that there are some that have this generations there. We have 3. It's quite interesting because I don't see any for 2024 dates, but there are 3 December dates for 2023 that we run the generations program, which is a family oriented option. And so these particular excursions are only introduced on those particular sailing dates. But other than that, you can essentially disregard those generation offerings because they're family oriented, if you will, experiences. But this shows you really in detail each day. And you can see these are all of the experiences here that are provided. And you'll notice too, it will have like an or. So on some of our other itineraries, there may be 3 or 4 that it says or. So you're choosing between this or this or this, and that is not the case here. So it will, in this case, you'll have like a morning excursion and then an afternoon excursion. So do keep that in mind. So it can be, active, busy days, of course.
Well, I'm looking here. I don't see any other questions. If anybody has anything, if you want to throw it in the chat box. Otherwise, thank you.
This is Lisa.
Yep.
I have a question.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you tell me what time of the year would be peak season for this travel?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I was talking to Gretchen about this earlier, March to October, I mean, it's pretty extensive, is peak. We do now have a full year itinerary for this particular one, and it's selling out. So if you look day by day, even on our website, Gretchen and I were just discussing, there's very limited availability throughout the entire year, but between March and October is more peak or desirable travel time, if you will.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else, go ahead and feel free to unmute and shout out any questions you may have.
I was wondering if college age students tend to take these tours, or is it generally older people?
That's a really great question. I am more than happy to, Gretchen, if you want to jot Dixie's information down, I'm happy to ask. I will say it does vary with our itineraries, what the demographics are. With river cruising in general, we do tend to skew, on the older age demographics. So, 55 to 70 range in general. But there's certain itineraries, to your point, that maybe we have a younger crowd. And you can see that on any given itinerary as well. There will be maybe family traveling with their older children, my son, 19 years old, I can totally see him doing this, for example. It is a very active itinerary too. So keep in mind, there are some videos. I don't think they're on our YouTube channel. I'll see if I can find them, Gretchen, to send you links to them, where some of these, especially the temples and the pyramids that you're entering, you have to go in almost backwards is the best way to go, and they're very low, and so you have to be able to navigate a number of steps and maybe confined spaces and so forth. So do keep that in mind, that it is a pretty active itinerary, and these are ancient ruins that you're navigating. So so that's very important to understand as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? Anything? If you do think of something afterwards, again, you can reach out to your Burst travel advisor, and if they can't get the answer, they can reach out to Tony if it's some, specific to what we talked about tonight, if you think of it a little bit later. feel free to email your advisor, or, you know, like I say, go on the website to the contact us and just put a message in there and we'll get back with you with an answer. The other thing too is that we did record this. At the beginning, I'm sorry, I interrupted with the recording starting, but we always record these, and if you wanted to go back and rewatch it or whatever, the recording will be on Burst Travel's YouTube website, or you can go to the bursttravel.com and go to travel seminars, and then you'll see a link there also to the over to the YouTube channel to watch this the recording of this webinar. And if you have people that are interested that couldn't attend, or you're thinking, gosh, this would be a great you know, itinerary for our friends, for, you know, some friends that you travel with, and you want them to watch it, just send them the link, and they can, you know, tune in and listen to the webinar and get some insight. So that will be up in the next couple of days on our website. So if I don't see anything else in the chat, so anyhow, well, thank you so much. Thank you, Tony. That was fantastic. You know, I get lost in these things. It's like I got to shake my head clear now to realize that I'm not in Egypt. But thanks again, everyone. Have a wonderful evening, and we really appreciate you spending time with us this evening. So good night, all.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.